What can you tell us, just an overview of what exactly transpired?
So at approximately 8:17 last night, our dispatch received a call. It was a transfer call from the town of Tonawanda. And initially, we thought that there was a stabbing based on what was given to us over the phone. So our officers responded to the scene, and after and upon arrival and throughout the investigation, we determined that there was no stabbing that took place. After speaking with all witnesses and all parties involved, investigating the incident itself, we came to find out that the vehicle involved, the suspect vehicle, they failed to stop for the police in Hamburg. And during that failing to stop, the Hamburg police terminated their chase, so to speak, at the base of the Skyway. So that vehicle continued on and ended up in our city. Prior to entering our city, they were involved in another accident in the town of Tonawanda, I believe near Paddock Chevrolet. And the vehicle that was involved in that accident ended up following this suspect vehicle into our city. As the vehicle was traveling on Delaware in our city at a very high rate of speed, a pedestrian was crossing the street and the suspect vehicle struck this pedestrian. The vehicle continued on and ended up rear-ending another vehicle at the intersection of Delaware and Broad. At that point in time, the driver of the struck vehicle pulled to the side of the road, got out of the vehicle to exchange information and to ask what happened. And with that, the operator of the suspect vehicle jumped in his vehicle, stealing his vehicle and going over the bridge into North Tonawanda, where he was then involved, I believe, in another car accident, which turned into another potential carjacking. And the suspect was taken into custody shortly thereafter.
So he's carjacked the second person that was hit, the second vehicle that.
The second vehicle, yes, at the intersection of Delaware and Broad. After he rear-ended him, the suspect vehicle pulled to the side of the road, and I believe this driver just got out of the car to see what happened. And with that, the suspect driver jumped out of his vehicle, got into the other vehicle, stole it, and went over the bridge into North Tonawanda.
Is that so? Where does the white van come into play here? Because there was a crash in front of Burger King.
Yes, the white van is the one that the offender was driving, and he was taken into custody. He is currently in our custody, and he will later be arraigned in court.
Do you have a name and charges?
Yes. So his name is Mark Whalen. If you don't mind me referring to my notes here.
Give the spelling as well.
Yes, last name is spelled Whalen. He's 31 years of age, and he lives in the town of Hamburg. And as far as charges are concerned, there are a few of them. He's being charged with, and what I wanted to mention in terms of this first charge, the pedestrian that he hit, that pedestrian was later pronounced deceased. At this point in time, we don't think that all of the next of kin have been notified, so we're not going to release any names at this point in time. But it was a male pedestrian crossing the street.
Even age?
He was 40 years old. So this driver is being charged with manslaughter second, grand larceny third, reckless endangerment second, unauthorized use of a motor vehicle third, leaving the scene of a fatal accident, criminal possession of a controlled substance seventh, and various vehicle and traffic violations.
So basic. Oh, sorry.
Oh, what substance?
Honestly, I do not know that answer. I could find that out for you and relay the message via email if you'd like.
So basically, just to recap, you have Whalen coming from Hamburg. Hamburg police stopped chasing him near Route 5.
Correct.
He heads into the city of Tonawanda, hits a pedestrian, kills the pedestrian allegedly here.
Yes.
Then hits somebody else, hits the back of their car, hops into that car that he hit, and then crashes.
Yep, drives over the bridge in North Tonawanda.
Okay.
And I don't want to put any words in North Tonawanda's mouth. I don't know all the specifics over there, but I believe the accident occurred over near District 37 at the base of the bridge. I do believe that he jumped out of that vehicle and tried to carjack another, and in doing so, he ended up getting in another car accident.
And that white van was the one he came in from Hamburg?
The white one was the initial one from Hamburg, yes.
Okay.
Town of Hamburg Police was the initial agency going after it?
So I spoke with Hamburg, and so what happened was they had a report of a hit and run out of Evans. So they end up finding this vehicle in their town. They pursue it. This vehicle, fails to stop. And at that point in time, Hamburg discontinued their chase. And what I've been told, and I don't know this for certain, but I believe this vehicle was also involved in another car accident on Church Street in Buffalo.
So what? There's like four.
There are a number of accidents, and I've been told, without knowing for certain, there was probably 4 to 6 other vehicles in North Tonawanda that were damaged.
I'm going to have you run through this one more time, but
Sure.
first, let me just ask you.
Yeah, come a little.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, just in the sun. Just your reaction to this as a member of law enforcement. I mean, this puts the public safety at such risk, this recklessness.
This is out of the ordinary, especially for our city. I've been doing this job for over 20 years now. I've never responded to a scene of this magnitude, so it absolutely shakes the foundation of the city. It's absolutely tragic to an innocent bystander just walking across the street. I'm not sure where he was headed, but to be blindsided by a vehicle at such a high rate of speed, it's just tragic is really the only word that I could explain at this point.
Were you there last night?
I was.
What did that scene look like?
So we had Delaware Street blocked off in between Broad and Fremont, which is a good 3 to 4 blocks. There was a lot of vehicle debris, a lot of investigation to conduct, and I would like to thank the town of Tonawanda Police. They sent over their accident investigation unit and assisted us with the investigation. So it was a very large crime scene.
What is your message? I mean, I know this is out of the ordinary, but your message to people who, drive recklessly like this and aren't taking people's lives into consideration.
Just obey the speed limit, obey the traffic control devices, just obey the rules of the road. I wish I had an answer. I wish I had a solution for why people do what they do. After 20 years, it still blows my mind at what I tend to see.
Has he been arraigned?
Not at this point. He is still in our custody. We're awaiting arraignment.
Okay.
So remains in custody. Okay.
Where is he? Is he here?
He is in our jail, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then what court will he end up?
He will end up being arraigned in our city court over here.
Okay.
And then depending on the judge's determination.
Any idea on when that's scheduled to happen?
I don't know specifically. I can only gander a guess at this point, maybe in the next couple of hours or within the next couple of hours.
Yeah. I know Kristen walked you through it. This whole thing is just a lot to wrap our heads around.
It is.
So, Town of Hamburg Police get a call about a possible hit and run, you were saying, in Evans?
I believe it originated in Evans, yes.
In Evans,
yes.
Okay. Did anything come of that, do you know? Was that...
I don't know if Evans pursued that vehicle, but Hamburg ended up spotting that suspect vehicle in their town.
And this was the same vehicle connected to that?
Correct.
Okay.
That's what Hamburg police say, and they really do you?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's Town of Hamburg Police,
This is
not
the white
Village.
van.
And this is the white van. It's traveling towards the city of Buffalo.
Yes.
Down Route 5. Hamburg Police stop at the base of the Skyway.
They discontinued their chase.
Okay.
Long before this ever happened.
Travels through the city of Buffalo, and you were saying potentially hit some other cars?
So what I've been told is they were involved in another accident on Church Street. From that point forward, I believe the next accident happened on Delaware in the town of Tonawanda.
Okay. So they go to Delaware in the town of Tonawanda. Is that when they hit another car, or is that when they hit the pedestrian?
So that's when they hit another car, and the driver of that vehicle ended up pursuing the suspect vehicle into our city.
Okay.
So they're basically following.
So they're
Yes.
following. When does the pedestrian get hit? Is that
closer to the intersection of Broad and Delaware?
okay? And that was as this person's pursuing.
Yep. As this person is following this other vehicle at a high rate of speed, he ended up striking this pedestrian that was crossing the street.
So Whalen's being chased at this point by the person that he hit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He hits the pedestrian.
Yes.
Doesn't stop, I'd imagine.
He
Keeps
did
going.
not stop.
Whalen continues on and then gets into the city of Tonawanda.
So he was already in the city of
Or he was in
Tonawanda.
the city,
Yep.
okay.
So once he
And then-
got to, so I was told that the other struck vehicle was at a stoplight, and he was on Delaware at Broad, facing northbound.
So after he hits this pedestrian, he hits another car.
Yes.
Yeah.
He
Rear ends it.
and then he continues on.
So the other vehicle, once that other vehicle was struck, he pulled to the side of the road in an attempt, I believe, to gather information regarding the accident. And with that, the operator of the suspect vehicle jumps out of his car, jumps into the struck vehicle, steals that vehicle, and goes over into North Tonawanda.
And then hits another car.
I believe, well, another accident occurred. I couldn't give you specifics on that because I wasn't over there.
But another accident occurs with
And-
Whalen
Yes.
And then
and another vehicle.
when he crashed into the fence in front of Burger King, which was the scene we all saw,
Yes.
that was before or after he rear-ended somebody?
That was after.
That was after he rear-ended somebody.
was after.
Okay, and then he
Okay.
crashes into the fence, takes another car, and then goes into the NT.
Took the car that he struck at the intersection of Delaware and Broad.
Okay.
And then he ended up where?
So then they ended over at the base of the bridge. I believe it was near District 37 in North Tonawanda.
Okay.
And from what I was told, again, don't know for certainty, but he, I believe he got out of that vehicle, tried to carjack another, was unsuccessful, and then ended up getting into another vehicle. I believe that someone was still in that vehicle, and there was a struggle which made, obviously, them lose control and strike other vehicles in North Tonawanda.
This is really a multi-agency situation here.
Yes, it was.
How difficult is that to try and piece all this together with so many municipalities involved?
You know, when we got there, the incident was over, and it was more a matter of just slowing it down because you don't want to miss anything. You want to do everything, you know, as specific as you can. So again, this magnitude in a city like this, this was a giant scene for us.
Are you requesting the public if they have any video, any information?
That's what I was actually going to end with. If there was anyone that witnessed this accident, if they know any further information, please reach out to the City of Tonawanda Police Department. 692-2121, extension 304 will put you through to my voicemail, or they can dial extension 0, and that will put them through to dispatch.
And I also just wanted to ask, as far as the timeline, what time did this start at, and when did it end? How long did this go on for?
So we received the call at 8:17 p.m. As far as when the incident was over, I would have to go back and look at the call log. I couldn't tell you an exact time of when it was over, but as far as the processing of the scene, I can tell you myself, I didn't leave there until approximately 2:15 in the morning.
When was the pedestrian struck?
At right about 8:17.
Okay.
Yeah, it was very, very soon before the call came out.